What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. We are your hosts, Chase and Myles, and we are at the Lucky Duck. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for listening on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcast, and thanks for watching on YouTube. Myles, who do we have on today?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. They tried to cancel us for all the COVID misinformation, but the show goes on. Today we have someone that we've been trying to book since season 1. No, it's not Collin Jost from SNL's Weekend Update segment. It's our friend Collin. He's here to tell us his story, and he might even teach us how to get away with murder. Without further ado, this is Collin.
Welcome. We were not going to talk about the murder.
Okay.
All right. No.
I thought we agreed.
I had to throw it in there just in case. Right? People are curious.
Just to hang it over my head.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on, man. It's like Myles said, this has been a long time coming. Every time I see you, I'm like, we're going to get you on. I need to have long-form conversation with you and record it because you're such an interesting guy. We always have really good conversations when we're hanging out, so I thought it was the perfect transition to bring it onto the show. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Let's give a good cheers to kick off the episode. We are drinking a jalapeno-infused watermelon margarita.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
That is good, yeah.
Good. This is where the ASMR comes in.
Oh, yeah. Just gargle it.
It's pretty good.
I like the pulp.
The
right?
pulp? Yeah.
It's I don't like pulp, but
Yeah.
with watermelon it's good because it's nice and refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, watermelon pretty much is only pulp
Yeah.
in like a cube.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I stuck it in a Ninja blender and like blended it like on high for like a minute,
Nice.
which like it's like one of the best blenders I've ever had. And this thing absolutely eviscerates anything you put in. So it was a nice thin pulp. It wasn't too thick.
You put the outside in it too.
The rind, yep. Got to put the rind in. Put a couple
delicious.
other things in there, you know, little mystery items.
Mushrooms.
Halfway through,
I'll be watching the patterns on the wall just in case.
It's all wavy. Yes, it's springtime. It's almost summer. Summer's around the corner. So I thought nice, refreshing drink. Mine actually has a Darth Vader ice cube in it. He now just looks like a butt plug because he's melted. But well, actually, there's a little bit of a Vader back in there still.
I see the mask.
Yeah. Yep. And that mold is provided by our brother Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Nice.
Yeah. He also got me some Legos. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still play with Legos? Are you a Lego guy?
I do not, but I kind of, now that you mention it, I would kind of like to. I want to bring that back into my life.
Yeah.
Were you into it?
Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, all about the Legos.
For sure.
We never, had the actual sets.
Same.
They just had, a box of
Yeah.
just random
It's a
shit.
huge one.
You just to think there was a set. When you were done, you're like, I put this together. Pretty crazy.
I assume it
No
was a set, but I
instructions.
assume we weren't, the first family that owned these Legos. It's just a massive box of, Legos.
I think we had the same exact experience.
Yeah, it's
of
probably-
Legos.
Yeah, you probably got our Legos.
They hand me down.
They
I don't know
did
what happened
smell
to
like
them.
urine for some reason.
Yeah, you definitely got ours.
Yeah, a big tub of Legos. That was the thing, and I feel like those can go for not quite a bit of money, but there's whole stores dedicated now where they have random things, big pits of Legos that you can parse through. People coming in who are Lego aficionados.
What?
Yeah, and they go and you can buy different Legos. I don't know if they do it by weight or they do it by piece, what they charge you. But
That would be crazy. You get 1,000 pieces, and they're just okay, this one's worth 10 cents.
there's a guy in the back who's the guy that just judges, kind of like the pawn stores shops, shows, where he's when we bring in an expert, we're gonna get the detail on the price of this 1980s
nice.
record.
2x6 green. It's quarter inch. That's a good piece.
I wonder if they have a self-checkout. You're walking up and you have 10 pieces, and this guy just has a bucket full, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please place the piece in the bag again. 100,000 times.
there's like these on TikTok. There's these guys that sell like Pokemon or like trading cards, and they have this like system, this automated system, because I guess they buy and sell so many at volume that they now have like these cameras that point down onto the card, and a bot or an algorithm basically will determine what type of card it is, and then check it against a database based on its current value, and then sort it based on if it's like worth under 50 cents, it goes into one pile. If it's over 50 cents, it goes in another pile. And that helps them catalog their incoming inventory, so they can, and then it automatically posts it online to the various like eBay and Amazon and all these different like secondhand collector stores. And that's what that's a whole thing. Like the secondhand market of like trading cards and things like that is like just this crazy business.
Like literally everything, I feel like nowadays, like everything that like people liked as kids when we were like when we were kids is now like $20,000 on eBay.
That's true.
Or like there's some variety of it that's $20,000. Like
if I could be a kid again, then I would have saved all of that.
Yeah, I remember having Pokemon cards, like collecting them and playing them like twice. Yeah. But always wanting that holographic Charizard because it's worth $50. Yeah. And now, if you had like that like generation Charizard, that's
what is that worth now, Miles? Could you pull that up? I'm just curious. What a
I'm gonna guess in the tens
Charizard.
of thousands range.
Really? Yeah.
I'm just completely guessing. I have no idea.
I think you're probably right. Let's see. What do we got here?
Ooh, well, here's some different years. This is what this guy's
so there's like different. So you can send them into a company, and they like basically rate their condition and authenticity of the card, and then they send them back, and they like you get like a official certificate with it. So there's different. I'm sure like a pristine, like just opened, put right into the sleeve like condition is worth a lot more than just like some of these. You're seeing some like for $200. To like 4,500, right? There's a $13,000 one right there.
Oh my gosh!
Korean version,
the super rare.
Those were the ones that you wanted, right? Like the
Korean version. I don't think I even knew much about Korea back when I was like 8 years old. I might not have even known about Korea at all.
Honestly, I used to read these and still not. I don't know how to play.
Same.
So like it being in Korean. Probably made no difference to me than in English.
And you might not have even been able to read back then either.
You just saw the numbers and you're like, 150 is pretty good. Yeah. Better than 20.
Yeah, he's a level 76. I know numbers. Okay, I know numbers.
Yeah, and it's this big dragon guy with fire. It's pretty cool.
He does have a negative 20 though. That's for something.
That's what
really
is that?
issue.
People who know Pokemon are like yelling at us right now. It's fucking the defense that you get applied to your card, okay? But you have to stack them like Yu-Gi-Oh, but you don't know that, do you?
I did have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. I also got rid of those. I can't remember how I got rid of them. I don't know if those are worth much.
I think basically all the big name ones have a pretty good value to them, including like Magic is a big one. In fact, I think Magic's probably almost or as big as Pokemon is in terms of
and they even play Magic.
Yeah,
they don't just sell them on eBay.
Our brother Logan like randomly got into it. I'm like, dude, you're like how old? You're now getting into Magic? It doesn't work that way.
I have too much money and too much time. What am I gonna do?
Magic.
You're gonna be
too many
bad
friends.
at it.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. Any Magic enthusiasts out there?
Yeah.
No hate.
What's that?
No hate.
No hate. All right.
Yeah. No.
That's fair. No hate. What do you spend most of your time doing these days?
These days, I started playing the piano again. I decided to just randomly decided to pick it back up. I used to play it a little bit in high school. I played guitar in high school too in the jazz band, and piano was like a requirement then. But now I actually kind of want to play it, so I've been trying to get good, I guess.
That's awesome. I love that. Any kind of creative outlet, I'm all about.
What are you playing on?
Playing on a piano.
Just like
it's a digital piano. It's like a kind of lower end Yamaha digital piano. But I kind of got the bug, and I know that it's going to be an expensive hobby because I'm like, going to music stores and just perusing the synths. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
It's I would say that's true. Like, I don't know, 10 years ago, or maybe even a little bit longer than that. But like, as long as you have like a MIDI setup, like an audio interface, you just plug that sucker right into your computer with like GarageBand or Logic. You got any sound known to man.
Oh, because you can remap the keys.
Yeah, well, you can.
Yeah, and you have digital instruments that you can map it to, and it just sends like a signal to the computer, and you can make it sound whatever you want, and you can put on like virtual pedals and everything. Yeah, I used to do that a lot, like 10, 15 years ago or so. So I'll probably get back into like recording stuff and yeah. Who
So
knows?
do you have like a guitar and stuff? Are you gonna pick that back up, or are you just starting one instrument? At a time?
Yeah, I have like I haven't had a guitar, I guess, since I was like 14 or so. So I have a classical right now.
Cool.
I got rid of my electric when we moved over here just to save space, and because I only really played my classical anyway, I didn't really plug into like an amp or anything. I just picked up something to noodle around with.
You're like moving to Denver. John Denver loves his acoustic guitars. Get rid of the electric. Just go off the grid.
Off the grid, yeah.
He only plays
for that murder that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly. No trace.
Find a cabin, bring my guitar.
They'll never know I was here, except for the walls. They're just hearing this sweet sonic sound of murder.
And what cabin was that?
Yeah.
Where was that again?
Right outside of Golden, right?
Are you a cop?
No,
You have to tell me if you're a cop.
I know. You're right. I'm not a cop.
Yeah.
Is that an actual thing?
No. I guaranteed it's not an actual thing.
Yeah. But don't you start graying the lines a little bit with like entrapment when you start getting into like, are you a cop or you're not a cop? Because at some point, when does it become entrapment?
I think I think if you're going to sell like a not a cop some meth, like you're already intending to commit this crime or something like that. I think entrapment comes into play when you are kind of causing the person to commit the crime when they had no intention to do it.
So the cop gives you the meth to go sell to another cop.
Yeah,
sounds that.
Yeah, something like that. Like I'll give you $1,000 if you go to that guy and sell that guy that meth.
Or maybe if he just goes up to him and he's like, "Hey, sell me meth," and he's like, "No, man, I don't do that." And he's like, "You're gonna sell me meth right now."
Yeah. Or I'm gonna give you this meth. I want you to sell it back to me. Yeah, I think that one of the cases was the case where these bunch of these guys tried to like kidnap the Michigan governor.
Oh yeah.
And they're now all basically getting off, like their cases are getting thrown or whatever.
Because they're all cops or something.
Like half the people involved were like FBI agents.
Jeez.
Yeah. Apparently.
Oh, because they were trying to egg them on.
Basically, yeah. Like a lot of the times you'll see like FBI agents come in as like agent provocateurs, right? And they'll just like say like, "Hey, wouldn't it be crazy if like we kidnapped the governor?" And they're like, "Yeah, that sounds cool. Like we should do that. We should totally do that, right?" Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. That does sound like a good idea. All right, let's fucking do it. All right, so what do we need? And then this whole process gets blown out. So I guess at some point it was like, what would the FBI intervention like have actually without it? Would they had still come up with the same conclusion, right? Or it was like the FBI getting involved really like fueling this whole thing.
I heard that happened with the Capitol riot too.
Yeah,
basically.
People say that. Yeah.
There was when I lived in Tampa, there was an incident with a guy that was going to shoot up like a really popular nightclub or something like that. And it was kind of all being planned over some sort of chat room. This is like, I don't know, 2010 or something like that. But it was an FBI agent on the other end. So they were like kind of like planning it essentially. Like, do you need, I think it was involved with like him trying to buy weapons from this guy or buy like something that's going to hurt someone.
They got to get him to do something illegal in order to charge him with something, right? So they're trying to kind of get him to do that.
But in this guy, I think he had a lot of like mental issues and stuff. I mean, you have to kind of have mental issues of some sort, but then you got to think like if that conversation didn't happen, would he have just like moved on to something else or something?
Yeah,
like,
started playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe he like in one of his Googling, he found like a magic card. He's like, oh, what's that? It went down this whole other path.
It's like
Who
blow
knows?
up school. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a blow up school magic.
Holographic blow up school card.
There's a Magic the Gathering card for any kind of type of violence. Just
Oh, man.
deter people from doing violence.
So it makes sense that that law or whatever it is exists, so that
Yeah.
law enforcement can't do that.
Hmm. Well, I mean, this one they definitely did do it, and they got. I mean, I think he's still in prison.
Yeah.
So they, I guess, skirted that line enough to where it was kind of on the right side of that gray area.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
You went to school and lived in Tampa for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, as crazy as
Florida
Florida
man.
in general
Yeah.
is.
So
But
as we speak, but today, TSA announced that the mask mandate for airline travel has been effectively
illegal,
removed.
right?
Yeah, because of a federal judge in Florida
Mhm.
ruled that that whole mandate is illegal or something. I don't know the gist of it, but I'm just now hearing that
Yeah.
a bunch of airlines are now saying that masks aren't required on their flights anymore. Like United came out and said today that they're not.
Well, it's because today was supposed to be the end date of their last extension or whatever it was, and then they extended. I think it was May 30th.
Hmm.
May
May
3rd.
1st?
May 3rd. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, like 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
kicking
is,
the can
I feel like
down
it's been
down the
2
road.
more weeks for the last
Yeah.
2.5 years.
Same thing with like student loans.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the last
Let's like push it like
time people-
September or something
We
now.
promise. It's
Yeah.
like a couple more weeks. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna come to a point where like kids are paying for their parents' education that they inherited the debt from.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Like we all have for those who were like, okay, mask on airline is like we're a little bit beyond that. Like Florida leads the way.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and all that shit now.
Yeah, they're leading the way in a lot of
Yeah,
shit.
a lot of shit. They're like we have plans for America. Like,
Yeah, like and like a couple of weeks ago, they basically, or some court in Florida or something was like, oh yeah, Governor Ron DeSantis, you could just draw the maps yourself. That's fine.
Oh yeah, for
Now
the,
he's
the
drawing the
voting,
maps for the
voting
state.
districts or something
Yeah,
like that, right?
It's just it's changed a lot since I left.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
never remember Florida being so political before. Maybe it was because I was too young when the whole time we lived there, but it
Yeah.
was only really like when, I mean, what's his name? The last governor, Rick Scott.
Yeah.
He was a little like it was a little bit political with him.
Yeah, but he was
Not
still
too bad.
definitely more like relatively more moderate than.
Right.
I mean, he also committed like largest Medicare fraud in history. but,
Yeah, well,
you know, that's
and
that's like
alleged-
a nonpartisan kind of
alleged.
thing that both parties share.
Wasn't there something about like cocaine and strippers or something with like one of the senators? And,
That was I think the Democratic
Gaetz.
or the Democratic person that was running.
Oh, right, yeah,
I think it was meth and strippers though.
Oh, okay,
so-
sorry.
Yeah.
Don't want to mischaracterize it now. What was I gonna say? Can we all just agree that the best Florida governor was my guy Jeb? Can we just can we just go and unanimously throw down that Jeb was like the best?
He was probably. He does have a
Joke,
pretty
obviously.
sweet name, and like, I mean, when you know his brother was in office, and then when his dad was in office, of course, is somewhat polarizing and stuff. But now kind of looking back, like seeing what has really happened in the last half a decade or so, I don't know. He's just a goofy guy now.
He kind of
It's
is.
a goofy
yeah.
president we had. Same with Bill as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
Yeah.
it's a goofy stretch of presidents there.
I think we probably like to go back to the goofy guys a little
Yeah.
bit. Like,
Yeah.
Be a break from all this like polarization.
Yeah, it is nice. It's like they get out of office. It's the same with senators and reps that get out of office, and they're like, okay, now I'm not going to be a dick and speak my mind, right?
Yeah.
Because it
I'm
doesn't
cool.
matter.
I'm cool, Obama. Now I do voiceovers for documentaries now.
Sorry. Peace out. I'm
Obama.
gonna go
Yeah.
surf.
yeah.
I did watch
I
that.
guess he was surfing
You
a little
did?
bit.
Was it good?
Yeah. Well, I watched
on
the
Netflix,
first
right?
episode, of, I don't know, it's called National Parks or something of the world. Because it's not just the parks in the U.S., it's all the national parks around the world. And
Wait, hold on. National parks around the world.
yeah, because every country has national parks.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the U.S. actually had the first, what they called national park, which was Yellowstone.
Under Roosevelt, was it?
I don't remember. I think it was around that time, though.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah,
History buff.
yeah.
I just know that
Nobody fact-checked that.
Roosevelt.
He's right.
Yeah. We're right. We're moving on.
Yep.
So
It could be 2 Roosevelts. So that's smart.
Yeah. You can't, hemorrhaging, hedging my bets there.
I'm having a hemorrhage. Yeah, and then apparently that kind of triggered around the world the idea to protect land. And I don't remember how much land in the world is now protected, but it's a massive amount. And it was really, at least Obama credited it to the U.S. Probably has something to do with him being president or something. You know?
You're welcome, rest of the world.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. They have, you guys remember Planet Earth? I think it was
Yeah,
called.
yeah. with
And
David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the videos that they got of the animals that were incredible?
It was
Yeah.
just like insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that too in here.
There's one that David Attenborough did. It's basically just a continuation that focuses on like colors.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
saw
talking
one
about?
of those episodes.
I
Yeah,
just,
that was
it's
really
good
good.
background TV
Yeah.
to throw on when you're doing something. And that also, they had like the latest camera technology for that, and they really were able to capture like colors in nature of like insects and animals that previously were not able to capture with the technology at the time with cameras. So I highly recommend if you're into like color. And they also go into depth on like how color plays a role in nature, just based on like mating or camouflage or like predation and things like that. So pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Pretty
That's
sweet. Shout out
crazy.
to my boy David.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that sloths in Costa Rica can turn green after a rain?
Is it like an acid rain
Sick.
situation?
yeah. Because of the nearby coal plants.
Yeah, or the volcano nearby.
Radiation poisoning? No, actually, but talking about the camera technology, they were able to film the inside of the fur of a sloth
Oh, whoa.
to
Like,
show
wow.
all the insects and the ecosystem on a sloth.
That's
It was
gross.
insane.
Yeah, that'd be tougher to do with like a faster animal to get that close.
Yeah, true.
I know. They're like,
Let's
this guy
get
ain't
under
going
your
anywhere.
fur.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Someday it'll be cheetahs.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see what under their fur looks like.
Yeah.
it's probably really clean. His cats.
Yeah. all the wind, like the 80 mile per hour wind or whatever.
Here we
The
have
60 mile per hour.
water pollution and plastics in our water and global warming, but we want to figure out what's under the cheetah's fur. Like that's priority number one.
Humanity is evolving to
Figure
this
that.
pinnacle of finding out what that skin be like.
That should be the show where they just what
What-
that can be like, and it's just different animals.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna do a
Oh,
polar
shit.
bear.
polar bear would be pretty sweet. Their skin's like black, I think, and their hair is clear. It's not white.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Holy shit.
these hollow tubes, I think, that hold water to like insulate it from the cold.
Whoa.
Dang.
I'm
I
gonna-
think.
I'm gonna fact
Let's
check this.
ask David.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
David. Phone in David. That guy, he's like still going,
Yeah.
and he's like 100 years
I don't
old.
know how. I feel like he was 100 years old when I first like heard his voice. When I
Right?
was, who knows, like
In school.
14 or
Watching
something.
some
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. You know who's like in the same realm? Who I always think is like looks the same and is the same age in every single movie is Michael Caine. Like, I was watching Batman Begins, which is like from 2000. I don't know.
Maybe 2000 or like
Yeah,
2002,
like early
something like that,
2000s,
yeah.
and he looks like he was dying in that movie, and I'm like, like, how is this guy still alive?
Like, what is his face
Yeah.
finally going to fall off?
I'm pretty sure he's retired now. Can we get an updated photo of my boy Michael? beloved Alfred. Can we just agree that he's probably one of the better Alfreds?
Yeah, I mean, he's in one of the better Batmans too.
Yeah. Have you seen the new Batman?
I have not. I have not seen any Batman since the Christian Bale Batman.
Okay.
And I think there's multiple. I'm pretty sure.
There's Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
And then there's the new one, which is
Which
Robert
is the
Pattinson.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on HBO Max.
It just
Okay.
premiered last night.
I
yeah.
haven't
Okay.
seen it.
It's fucking
I'm gonna
good.
watch it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Check
I
it
really
out.
liked it. I saw it in theaters and it was sick. So here's let's zoom in on my boy Michael so that everybody can see. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's same age. Exact
Look,
same
he
age.
just looks like what is that?
That was in
2015.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, that's 7
He's
years
89.
ago.
He's 89. Damn.
Should we type
I'm pretty sure.
2022?
I'm pretty sure he's retired, and that the last couple movies he was in, he like was pulled out of retirement from like as a favor to somebody. I think it was fucking Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah.
It might be, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like Joe Pesci, where he came out of retirement for Martin Scorsese's latest like mobster.
Oh
film.
yeah, that
Premiered on The Irishman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen that. It's just because of the time commitment.
You know,
it's like 4
I
hours or like
haven't
3.5
either,
hours.
and I'm now reminding myself I should
Yeah.
go back.
I mean, Scorsese's one of my favorite directors.
So good, so good. But yeah, you know what movie I also saw recently was, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That sounds.
Have you heard of
intense.
that?
No.
It's great, and it has like a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. It had like this early release in like a few theaters, and then they just now did a wide release in theaters. But
Okay.
basically, it's follows a character who discovers the multiverse. It sounds like a Marvel movie right off the bat, but it's not. I promise. And she has to basically leverage herself in other universes to fight this greater evil, and it's so well done. And it's like a action comedy, so it's got like this comedic element to it. It's got this like kung fu style action kind of parody fighting to it. It's really well done. I highly recommend it to everybody.
Nice.
Like Kung Fu Panda.
Probably one of the better movies this year. I'll put it above the Batman, but I did enjoy the Batman.
What was it called?
That's like Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
Is that literally it?
Yeah, that's what it's
Okay,
called.
yeah. I'm just saying a bunch of words that sound like what you said earlier.
No, I think that's what it's
Okay.
called. Yeah.
Cool.
Really good. Yeah, really good.
Nice.
They have this whole parody of in one universe there's instead of Ratatouille where the rat's
Yeah.
like controlling the guy. Instead in this universe it's a raccoon. And it's called Raccoony. They're at a Benihana, and the raccoon's like basically under the chef's hat, controlling the chef. It's fucking hilarious.
Reminds me of
I love it.
the Rick and Morty like infinite TV episodes that they do.
Yep. Yeah. The interdimensional cable.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
I wish I had that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Too many things to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's not enough to watch right now.
What is one thing that you learned a little too late in life that you wish you learned earlier?
Oh man. So we go from Raccoonie to the hard hitting questions.
Raccoony.
Yeah. You can say masturbation. It's okay.
Yeah. Because
Wait.
we all didn't learn that till like.
I'm about to
17,
write
right?
that one down and get back to you next time.
Like that one, yeah, that one.
One thing that I learned too late, and I didn't really learn it from anybody, but was just that no one really is paying as much attention as you think they are. So, I had a lot of like social anxiety and stuff, especially in high school and stuff. I was like super shy. But then like as the older I got, like I'm just a dude. Like no one really. I can really just relax and be myself, and no one's really gonna care. And if they do, it doesn't really matter either, because I'm not paying a ton of attention to them either. For the most part. I mean, there's some people that yeah, you definitely pay more attention to, but yeah, just knowing that everyone's living their own lives, and you don't have to like stress over people's opinions of you, and honestly, like, usually people's opinions of you, unless you're like complete dick, is like, if you act like yourself, it's probably gonna be better anyway. Otherwise, you're just some quiet guy that no one really knows.
And they just think you're weird.
Yeah. But now they know I'm weird. That's the difference.
Is that something you think is taught or learned, or you think that's something that you just are born with?
I think you have to learn it yourself. I don't think anyone can teach it to you. I think you just have to, go through life at a certain point. Like, maybe you just are never born with like a filter, and then you don't have to learn it. But for a lot of people, especially like more introverted people with anxiety, stuff like that, it'll just come to you, I think.
Do you think that anxiety that you speak of, like, I guess that's more of my question, is like, do you think that anxiety is something that we're forced into, or that we like kind of develop from extra or exterior influences, or is that something that we're all born with?
Nature.
I'd say it depends on I think it's nature. I mean, it depends on the scope of this anxiety we're talking about. If you're shy, I mean, there's people that have like debilitating, like, chronic anxiety, and that is definitely like a mixture of like chemical and just I feel like almost like losing grasp of yourself, and like having your thoughts run off without you. And in a lot of cases, it's down to like brain chemistry, and just people are wired differently. Some people are born super chill, just come out and they just smoking a big old joint.
the Truman effect, or I don't know. There might be like a specific name for it, where you think that everyone is put on Earth to like be a part, like a side character.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Your main character story.
Like, everyone's an NPC, and
Yeah.
you're the actual character.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
almost solipsism, I think, is the, like, I don't know if it's a philosophical term, but believing that you're like the only thing that exists in the universe.
Right.
I don't think anxiety is that, but that is definitely a thing.
Could contribute to it, though,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't know. I think I'd be way more relaxed if I knew that everyone was an NPC. Like, if in my mind, without a doubt, I was the only thing that existed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you really get down into it, maybe in a way, maybe that's part of my beliefs, but it's more of like a soul. Like, kind of everyone kind of is part of the same thing, but not like me, Collin, is the only person, but
Like, have you ever heard of the egg theory?
the egg theory. I think it's vaguely familiar.
Yeah. So basically, it goes like this. It's based on a story written fairly recently, actually, after the 2000s. But basically, it goes like a guy walking home from work and gets hit by a car and dies. Goes to like the afterlife, basically, and he meets somebody who's there, and he tells him, basically, you're dead. And that in a short while you will be sent back into another body at any given point in the timeline of Earth, and that you will live that life, and then you will return to us, and we will re-upload just like we just did with your body after you died now, into like a single soul, and that basically you will do that for X amount of times until you've lived every single life, basically revealing that you are everybody, and that there's only one soul, and that death is just uploading your memories and perspective and maturity into this soul, and then eventually at some point the soul will be complete with all these memories, experiences, perspectives, and it can ascend into like a higher form.
Yeah. So that's like a more... That's like a slightly different version of kind of what I believe.
Oh yeah.
I used to be like, well, not exactly like that. I can explain the differences, but
Please do.
but yeah, I used to be like a hardcore atheist when I was in high school, and yeah, I mean, just things changed as I grew up.
Were you always an atheist? Like before high school, were you spiritual in any way, or
no, not at all.
Not even
yeah, I come from a family that's non-religious, and my dad's side's religious, but my mom's grandparents are not religious either, which is somewhat rare to have like that many generations of like non-religious people. I
You're
feel like
a
at this
super
point.
atheist then.
Yeah, and I was definitely to the level where
Antichrist.
it was somewhat annoying.
You
know.
were the guy that was like, I'm super certain there's no God, and
Like
I
I
have
would like,
proof.
yeah, I would like,
Yeah.
I liked the religious debates and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
now no. But no, I mean, I resonate a lot with that like egg theory, but in my mind, it's a little differently. It's not like you go back to this other place and then you get put in another body. I feel like everyone kind of has the same, or what's guiding us is kind of the same consciousness as kind of within everything, like everything living. And, you know, your life is being perceived from that consciousness, like simultaneously with everyone else's. And like in Eastern religions and stuff, there's nirvana. Like if you're a good person and you know, meditate and stuff like that, eventually you'll get to enlightenment. And in my own mind, it's just like, if you're just a good person to people, then that's one more person that is good to you, like as someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of common sense, and I feel like it's what all religions are really trying to say is that, you know, if everyone works to be a better person, like every day, try to being a better person, then everyone's life is going to be a little bit better each day.
Jesus.
And so
is a
like
big thing.
nirvana is kind of when everyone gets to a point where they are just super chill dudes. Well, not just dudes. you know.
So when your physical body passes, is your being still around?
Yeah, I mean,
You reap the rewards of the kindness
Previous
you
life.
had, you know, later on, or is it just?
So I think that you reap the rewards. So there's like a couple different views, I guess. Like if do you know anything about like Eastern philosophies, like Buddhism and stuff like that?
A little bit.
s-
Do explain.
Yeah.
For the
Or
audience.
and I'm not like a Buddhist. Maybe it's close to what I believe in, but
I did take religious ethics in
Oh, yeah?
college, so
And you remember nothing.
But there's the idea of like the ego or the false self, which is like Collin. Like I am like me, just the self that's going through day-to-day life. You know, you're stressed about your job. You're you know, you're having good times. You're getting married. You're, you know, going through life as Collin. But I feel like there's a true self, which is the kind of a more of a universal self that kind of everyone has within them. And it's just, so if you, it sounds crazy, but
No,
if you
it doesn't.
spend time, you know, through meditation and other means,
Mhm.
potentially, there's several, like meditation, yoga, you know,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Thanks. Close, I
There's
guess.
certain breakthrough moments that you can have. It could just be a second, or it could be longer, and you might, you know, you could meditate for your whole life and not even experience it.
Would you call
but-
that enlightenment or a moment of clarity?
Yeah, it's meditation is you kind of the idea is not really to like silence your mind, it's to observe your mind. And you get to a point where you get kind of into a deeper and deeper trance that like you're able to just kind of focus on your breath, and you start to really see your thoughts go by as like a third person, like as another person's thoughts. So there's like, so you're there hearing yourself think like oh man, I got to finish this project by Friday at work, and blah blah blah. And like in your mind you're thinking like, man, I'm really stressed about work, like as you're watching yourself think. And then there's a moment where you kind of have an epiphany where you're saying, wait, if that is me like thinking about work, then who is this that's watching that?
Like it's like a meta moment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that, I feel like that is kind of your true self. It's just the guiding, I don't know, you can call it a soul. I guess soul is probably the easiest way to describe it. But I think this, it's tough to put into words, but it's, yeah.
I totally get that. That's like it's like your true self looking down on your ego almost.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's like the dissolve, like a lot of people call it like the dissolve of the ego, like when you're in that kind of
Yeah.
transcendence
Yeah.
state.
And I don't think that and I don't think that your true self is kind of restricted to your body. I think it's not just yours. It has many egos, and it's kind of the force behind, like, trees growing and squirrels and sloths turning green in the rainforest.
You learned something on
Yeah,
this podcast.
I did.
Colin, I think you might have schizophrenia, my friend.
I might.
No, I'm
yeah.
kidding.
That was a big fear of mine when I was younger. But
Well, actually, I
never.
was just gonna say that if you think about like split personality, I mean, maybe everyone has that kind of ability within them, and some people it's exposed, but that it kind of goes with that thinking of you can have multiple egos or multiple personalities, or you're not just one thing inside of you, one person.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, if you kind of even get more, I don't know, vague about it, I think we all have many, many, many different personalities that, like, I'm so much different than I was in my 20s, and that person in my 20s is so much different than I was, like, at 14.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, it's the evolution, and it's fun.
There's something to be said about being self-aware. I think that's what that really is. If you're self-aware, and that's the problem with a lot of like younger people, is they don't have that self-awareness where they can be introspective about why they thought that way, what's affecting them or influencing them, and kind of like checking your ego is a kind of another way of saying it. And that self-awareness comes, I think, with like experience and perspective, and I think that's like going back to the egg theory is like all about sending that your perspective up into the soul. Like you have the Wall Street millionaire walking down the street in his suit jacket, and he's talking on the phone. He shoves somebody, and I'm above those people. And then you have the people who are getting shoved, and they're like, man, I just had a bad day, and life is tough, and they're suffering, and they're working hard, and like those two perspectives coming together in the end, like completes the maturity of like the soul. But also just coming as a single entity or a person and having a little bit of each perspective, as life tends to do as you live it. You gain that perspective, and then you start, oh, I had a bad day. Maybe if you've never had a bad day, which is like, I think rare, because everybody has a bad day. Those bad days and those points of suffering, they make the good days, right? Yeah. They add like, oh, well, this isn't as bad as when I had that shitty day. And then that builds on top of it and compounds. And then suddenly you have this wealth of perspective, and this like, and almost can kind of generate that self-awareness, right? Or you could meditate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I fully think that people should meditate, whether it's for spiritual reasons or for anxiety relief or anything like that.
What's the process of meditation? Are there different processes?
There are different processes. When I do it, which I actually haven't done in a while, and I keep telling myself I need to start slotting some time every day to do this again. But the way that I've done it, and the way that it was taught to me by someone who's like a practicing Buddhist, was, and he was a philosophy, like a Eastern philosophy teacher of mine as well. But he taught it very simply and very like secularly. So you can kind of like, no matter what your kind of spiritual beliefs, you can fit it into it, unless you like are in some religion that's like, don't sit and don't close your eyes. But you don't even have to sit. You just get comfortable, get into any position that's comfortable. If you have a bad back, that might be in a chair with like a back. You might be laying down, or you can get into like a full-on, like lotus pose, which is like a cross-legged position on the ground. Then you don't even have to have your eyes fully closed. You're like half closed, and just start focusing on your breath. You can have like a mantra of some sort. For me, I just think like breathing in, breathing out. It's not even, it's the most boring mantra you could ever think of, but you just focus on this, and you're going to, well, I mean, it's not failure, but you're going to fail at just focusing on your breath, and your mind is going to wander. But every time you realize that your mind is wandering, just accept it. Just kind of register, okay, I'm thinking of work, or I'm thinking of my dog, or I'm thinking of food, or something like that. And then just go back to your breath. And the more you do this, especially over like different sessions, the more that stretch of time is between like your mind wandering. And then it's great. It's a great like stress reliever. You just are free from everything essentially. You're
I think
just there.
It puts whatever's bothering you into perspective, like that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it carries through through your waking life too. Just walking around, you're a lot more conscious of what your mind is doing. And yeah, like you said, no one's not had a bad day, or probably not had a bad day. But a lot of times, like unless something drastic, like you get hit by a car, or like someone you love gets hit by a car or something like that, usually the bad day is just caused by your own reaction to it. And if you can like have a better grasp on what your mind is doing, you can get a lot better at stopping it from going on those trains of like those spirals down into depression, or spirals down into anger, or self-loathing and all that.
I like to lay down or sit out and look at the sky at night, and I don't know if it's the same feeling of that meditation that you described, but it is kind of the same thing. Like you said, puts things into perspective, and it helps me think about what's important in my life and what my priorities are.
Yeah, and like even running, you can bring like it's called mindfulness, which is when you're really kind of just focused on your breath, and as a result also focused on your thoughts because of the times where you're not focused on your breath. And you can do that like washing the dishes. You can do that running. You can do that at any point. You just kind of pay attention to what's happening now. I'm washing the dishes. The water feels warm. Like you just feel the warmth on your skin, stuff like that. You're not thinking about anything else. It's just staying in the present moment, I guess, is the key.
Yes, I love that. I think that is the key, is to be in the moment. I think you ever have those moments of clarity in the shower?
Yes.
I think it's the same thing. I think it follows that same routine because it's that one moment in the day where you have a moment of silence to yourself, and it's like 10 to 15 minutes of shower. I don't know how long you guys shower, but
even better than silence is white noise the whole time.
Yep. And you're just surrounded by this warm blanket of water, and you're just sitting there, and your mind's kind of going in one direction or maybe a couple different directions. But a lot of people have stated like these moments of clarity in the shower, and I think that's the same thing that in meditation is focusing on your thoughts, on your breathing, and just not a lot of people have that, especially when you like have you have kids, or you have a very demanding job, or lots of extra activities after your day job, or you're in school and you're busy with this, that, and the other, friends, family. And like, how many times a week do you really truly have that 15 to 30 minutes of time by yourself to focus on your thoughts, your like you said, your mindfulness? And I think those are rare moments these days, especially how fast life moves, or tends to move in these like crazy times, right?
So much information that you're seeing and being exposed to. You just forget about the last thing that you thought about.
And there's so many like default distractions. I feel like back in the day, the default mode was staring at a wall, and like you had to entertain yourself.
That's so
But
true.
now the default mode is like pulling Reddit up on your phone or something like that, and you're never like, well, you can be bored, but when you're bored, you're doing something. Like you're never just there by yourself, like doing nothing.
I think about that because when I make lunch, I go into the kitchen almost every day, and I take out my phone and put on HBO or YouTube or something while I make my food and eat.
Yeah.
And it's just completely eliminating that time that I could have. But I do sometimes get that in the shower. The other day, I actually got out of the shower and realized I had soap all in my, like, the back of my ears and stuff because I was just so into thinking that I completely forgot that I still had to wash myself off.
Yeah.
Yep.
The amount of times that's happened to me where it's like, oh shit, it's in my beard still.
How many times have we like invented something fucking awesome in the shower and never acted on it?
Yeah.
And then eventually.
Same when you wake up from a dream and like it just that thought is gone. That like amazing thought that you had.
How many times had somebody already invented Facebook in the shower before Facebook actually became a thing?
Yeah.
It's like, and that's the weird part is like going back to like everybody's you theory, you know, like sharing the same, like how many times have you come up with an idea and then somebody made it, like somebody else made it, like either that's coincidence or like, you know, there's certain external forces
like 7
sending
billion
you to that
other
direction.
people.
Yeah. Or, you know, I mean, it's interesting like that, but
I wonder if there's a formula that solves that. Like, I remember I took a class in college for some probability class that was like, you know how they solved the Domino's delivery thing? Was like, if Domino's guarantees that your pizza will be delivered in 10 minutes or whatever it was, or
like
half
30
an hour.
minutes,
You can determine if it will be profitable or not, or what time they should be able to set it based on the probability of it occurring, profit margin, stuff like that. So I feel like you could apply something to figure out how often, or what's the probability that someone has the same idea as you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
yeah, totally.
You could. I mean, that math would be so tough. And like if you could figure that out, like you could probably just sell that somehow.
Yeah.
Like whatever algorithm you're using,
I'm going to make
you
it
could probably do something with it.
You know what I just thought of when you said that is, you know how like all of our Google Homes or Google Minis or our Alexas in our house, what if they're just like harvesting ideas for the next big thing? How many cool products have been discussed around the dinner table or like in your home office? And Google's just like, listen, you have your guy at Google and he's like, fucking genius. Yes. Yes. And he writes it down. They had to like send a report in.
But then think about who the early adopters of these products are. They're usually like kind of techie people. So you have all these techie people talking about like the next MySpace 2.0 that they're going to make to bring it back.
Google's research and development department is just the Google Home.
It's just one box in like an empty room with a bunch of wires connected to it.
You pull a piece of paper out and it's like, all right, MySpace 2.0.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Like, you know, as much as I don't know. I have Google Home or Google Mini in my I guess it would be dining room, but also is like my living room area, and they're always listening. Like in fact, I'd be watching TV, and then Google goes off about something. Oh, did you mean this? I'm like, I didn't say anything. That's weird.
Yeah.
But like, if they were storing like all the conversations you have and aggregating like certain keywords or somehow using that data to improve dictation or improve certain things, like it wouldn't be too off to say that by the end of like a 5-year span of living in my home that it could also just generate a virtual version of me or know how I die, like based on your language for the 5 years we have detected that you have a 70% chance of dying from a snowboarding accident, or like they could just create a virtual me based off of the like millions of conversations that I've had, you know, and
then your health insurance company buys that data and charges you more for your health insurance.
Yeah.
Shit.
Or
so
less.
True.
Well, never less.
Never less.
That social credit score that everybody talks about.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Banks will know that you like to go to Vegas or something.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. They're like, we can offer you a MGM credit card at no cost to you. We're waiving your annual fee.
Or a mortgage at 15%.
Yeah, it's like Allstate does that thing where they give you that. Basically, it's like a low jack where you plug it into your car,
Yeah.
and it detects like how quickly you brake or like
Yeah.
how violently you drive.
Yeah,
And then
Progressive has it too.
Yeah, Progressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they will give you a break on your insurance if you're like a safe driver.
Yeah.
Which is like that's crazy to think about. But what other technologies could leverage that same idea to
Yeah.
give you a break on like
Yeah,
your mortgage?
Would never get that device. I would say that. I'm like, fuck no.
We had it actually.
Did
and,
you?
And
Did
I
it
had
do anything?
never slammed my brakes as many times as during like those 2 months that we had it.
Yeah.
Because it's like an evaluation period when you become a customer or something like that. And we actually still got a decent rate because like my wife, she drives pretty safe, and I drive pretty safe too. But like that thing was going off all the time.
Like what does it do when you go over the speed limit? Does it beep at you or like what is
This is just braking.
Oh, okay, just
so it's
braking.
just braking. Or, I mean, I didn't try drifting or anything. Maybe there's a little bit more to it.
Probably
But,
shouldn't if you're being evaluated. Like
Yeah, it's usually braking too hard. That was
Yeah.
pretty much what would set it off.
So
gotcha.
I found an article from, I don't know when the article's from, but it was this tech journalist in 2017 who reviewed the Google Home Mini, and he originally found that Google was recording all of his conversations and sending it to the cloud, but apparently that was a bug, and Google actually corrected it, and it's
Oh.
supposed to only send
A bug.
stuff
Like
after you say, okay, Google.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, we meant to store 95% of your data,
Yeah, interesting.
not 100%.
That's you ever like talk about something and then you open up like Reddit or something and then,
all the
then you
time.
see the ad for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even have Reddit open when you're saying that. It's like, what's happening here? Or like TikTok is violently to blame, or they do that all the time, which is like that's super scary.
Yeah.
I did it with Janie the other day, and I was like, I think we were talking about like food, and you ever do the like Blue Apron or Hello Fresh, which is basically like
Yeah.
a delivered meal.
I've
that
never
you
done
cook.
it, but I know of it, yeah.
So I was like, let's do a exercise here. And I said, Hello Fresh, Hello Fresh, Hello Fresh, Hello Fresh. And I look at Janie and I go, how long do you think it's going to be till I open up Reddit to see a Hello Fresh advertisement? I open up Reddit on my phone. My phone was off, not off, but it was like asleep, basically screen off. That's what I mean when I say sleep, on the desk next to me. I turn it on, open up Reddit. I scroll maybe one page, HelloFresh ad right there. And I was like, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, unless that's a crazy coincidence that
Yeah.
HelloFresh just
It is not a
happens to be advertising and it's the first ad I see on Reddit, or they're constantly listening no matter what state your phone is in.
They did that with, remember when I was in South Africa, and I think it was when I was in South Africa and I was texting you, I think, about Purple Mattress.
Yeah, because you were trying to get something moved. You were getting ready to not move, but you were getting it delivered or something.
Right.
Yeah.
For whatever reason I was telling you, and then I think you started getting ads for Purple Mattress, and we only talked about it through text.
Through text, yeah, which is so, and I don't understand how people aren't more proactive on fighting this. Like, it's just something that we've all kind of agreed
We all
is
accepted
gonna
it
live
like
with.
before it was even like confirmed as being a thing or anything.
Because it was like a joke for so long. You were like, "Oh, my phone's listening to me."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we were like, no, it definitely is. And I have several instances or like anecdotes of like, yes, this is actually happening. But at what point did we go like, holy shit, this isn't what I signed up for?
Yeah.
And but then again, most of those apps, they're free to use. I
Yeah.
mean, I wonder if, and do we even trust, like, if Reddit was like, hey, we're going to stop tracking your dictating everything that you say on the microphone for like $5 a month, do we even trust them after you pay them?
That.
No, they don't.
Right?
No, they don't, because it's
So
not
weird.
lucrative enough. They get so much money in advertising. That's the single most profitable thing in their business plan is advertising on these apps, right?
Yeah.
Facebook, TikTok, all these things. That's the only way they can generate money.
Yeah. And there's companies that like aggregate all this data and like from different sources and make like a profile of you.
Yeah, basically. And now there's virtual Collin up in the cloud.
And it's gotten to the point where like I've accepted that it's been listening to us for a very long time.
Yes.
But now it's getting to the point it's like, was it listening to me or does it know enough about me to predict that I kind of wanted HelloFresh at this point? Like there's like a 90% chance that this guy's going to want HelloFresh tonight.
There's going to be those guys that are like all about it. They're like, yeah, send me shit, charge it to my credit card. I'm going to let you figure out what I want because I'm too busy to figure out what, company I want to go with. Like, and they're going to be like, oh, we sent you this tie because based on your data profile, we know that you like blue and red striped ties. And they just start sending you shit. Like, it's almost like those subscription boxes. Like, what if there was a company, business plan, spoiler alert, that takes all this aggregated data, this virtual profile of you, and then every month puts together a box of products
like your perfect box.
Your perfect box.
Yeah.
There it is. That's the name of the product of the subscription service. And they send you a box of products to you every single month based on your virtual profile.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a Google Home down here, is there?
No, but this podcast is going to go up in a couple weeks.
Oh, no. We have to implement the idea before 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my God. Hurry.
Then imagine like some sort of like bad actors, like some sort of government, Russia or something like that gets involved. Is like, all right, we're going to turn this whole demographic into like psychopaths.
Yeah. They start sending you literature on like communism.
Yeah. People have theorized that about TikTok with China.
Yeah.
Saying that, I don't think this is true because I happen to like stupid videos. And this isn't why my TikTok feed is full of stupid videos. But it's saying that in the U.S., they feed people more like entertainment type videos and less educational, yeah. So like not things about learning about nature.
It's true. I mean, look at the what is it? The Learning Channel is now like, well, I mean, it's been for like decades, just like fat people like their life. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the Learning Channel.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so true. 90 Day Fiance. That's like their main, and then there's like My 600 Pound Life.
Yeah.
And
then before that was like Honey Boo Boo and
yeah.
I mean, it's been like at least a decade since the Learning Channel has taught anyone anything except for like nothing.
I think we have every reason to believe that TikTok is influencing us in a certain direction, and I think. Like, you may not notice it on face value, but there are like 1 in like 50 videos that you may come up on, and then that's all it takes is that one video, so you don't really notice it. You're watching guys jumping off of houses with skateboards and people getting hurt on trampolines and all the shit that you're into. That's part of my and I don't know, mostly animal videos for me. But then you get that one where they have some kind of like hot take on a social issue.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we should seize the means of production.
Yeah. And you're like, why is this on my feed? And you maybe scroll past it, or maybe you're like, you get triggered and you watch all of it. But that's all I think it takes is that one out of place video to really move the needle.
Then it becomes
slightly.
2 because you hung on that video for the whole thing because you got triggered.
But what happens when you have a population of people, like, let's just say, like, I don't know how many active. Can we look up how many active users there are on like daily users on TikTok? Because last podcast we looked up, it was like 1.3 billion active daily users on Facebook, which is like more than Christianity. Like Facebook has a hold on the global market. It's bigger than religion itself.
Wonder how many of those are just dead accounts, like I haven't logged into my
daily
Facebook
active
in
users,
forever.
like people who actually go on and use it. So what are we looking at?
Yeah, in 2022, it shows that there were 138 million active TikTok users per month in the U.S.
Okay.
So 1/3 of the United States If you send them,
I have 3 accounts.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All
there's probably
right,
a lot
so
of
there's
like
a couple
company
of
accounts.
there's a
and-
couple of
yeah.
like bots on there, and there's probably a couple of dead people, and a couple of
Well, this would be
spammers.
active accounts, so it's people going on
liking,
probably
sharing.
every day or every couple days or something.
So 1/3 of the United States. If you are able to just do exactly what I just said and move that needle just a little bit to the one side, that is a tremendous amount of influence. And if you
Yeah.
have a party, which a superpower, which is like, AKA China, who's basically controlling this thing, because basically all businesses in China are somehow intertwined with the communist government. But you got to imagine that they're using it somehow.
Mhm.
Like, this is a part of a global scheme to somehow influence the Western world to somehow fit in with the agenda of the nationalist
I mean, it's a
party.
country that is somewhat of, I mean, it's a rival to the U.S. for sure. They have more or less a command economy, so they even have more control. Like, I'm sure we're doing that to like every other country as well.
I was just going to
we
think
are.
about
I mean, Edwards.
is
is
Facebook in China?
No, it's not.
Oh,
No.
what about Twitter?
Facebook
I
was
highly doubt
in China, I think.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
it's
wised
not
up a
for a
long
while,
time
yeah.
ago. They were like, no influence.
Yeah, I
on
know
us.
most of the apps I tried to use on my phone when I was there were
Yeah.
blocked.
Mhm.
What about?
They didn't work.
I imagine Reddit is as well.
I wonder if you could just
I would
use a
do that.
VPN, but I know their firewall is pretty intense. So they could
Yeah,
have-
I'm
yeah.
sure you had to
Yeah.
go through great lengths to get through it.
I mean, there's people in Russia right now who are VPNing for Instagram and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure they did that. Cambridge Analytica did that, but not through their own application, through Facebook, through a hack in
Right.
Facebook.
That wasn't a hack.
Yeah, it was a.
bought that
It was a
data.
vulnerability.
I thought they bought the data.
No, they found out. Somebody found out that it was like a vulnerability in like the quizzes and stuff you can take.
Oh, right.
So like for
Yes.
instance, like the
Oh, yeah,
BuzzFeed
yeah.
quiz you can click on through Facebook. Someone could take the quiz and then they could see all of the data of all of the friends.
Yeah, they'd
of all
scrape their
those
friends
people.
and
Yeah.
everything, yeah. And their pages that they liked and
Right.
stuff like that. Yeah.
And so they were able to gather all this data on all these people, and then they could start targeted advertising towards those people who were more like slightly leaning one way or the other, and then they would feed them propaganda.
Yeah.
And that's how people have said that a lot of the more extreme parties have gotten into power recently. Like the Brexit thing was supposedly that kind like style of like brainwashing. I think a lot of people have said Trump's presidency was kind of like that because regardless of whether you liked him or not, most people thought he was a joke to begin with. Most people thought that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't a joke anymore.
Yeah, and then you're like,
It wasn't a
oh,
joke.
fuck.
And then people eventually, there was a group of people who really ended up liking him. Why did they change their mind, right? It's kind of weird.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder why North Korea should stop hacking crypto accounts and start getting partnership with Cambridge Analytica. Kim Jong-un isn't that
what
bad
they
of a
do,
guy. Okay, I've seen some TikToks on him and
Yeah.
changed my mind.
Just someone in like a gray room telling you that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's weird. Okay, next video.
Yeah, yeah. Huh, interesting. I never thought of it that way.
He seems like a pretty cool guy.
First time Kim Jong ever stepped onto a golf course, he had 4 hole-in-ones. So weird. Cool. I kind of
Yeah.
like this guy now. I like golf.
Then you just get actual Kim or what? Kim Jong Un, is that the Kim
Yeah.
Jong that's in power now? Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just like there and he dabs.
Yeah, yeah. Huh? He's like, oh, sweet. I love that. That's so killer.
Skateboards off.
Yeah, yeah.
I do see on whether it's Facebook or TikTok or whatever, sometimes I look at the comments of a video and I'll see those where it's almost a little bit out of context and it's like a very pointed like political sided argument about something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I always think if it's actually a real person or not,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, did you guys see when the war first broke out in Ukraine and in Russia, the whole conflict, that somebody had stitched together all of these Russian influencers, like these TikTokers, Instagrammers, Twitter people, and they all basically had this script that they read from, and so somebody stitched. I think it was Ray William Johnson stitched it, and he was like, look at all of these people who are basically like these popular social media influencers, and they all have this same unified message, and it's to promote, it's pro-nationalist, Russian nationalism. And it was like, interesting. So now everybody knows. Everybody, and how much of that is in the United States? How much of that is in China? Or how many people are getting paid to basically say, whatever they are told to say for money?
I'm sure tons.
Yeah, like have you seen the one of the different news organization?
Yeah, I was about to mention that one. Yeah.
Sinclair
it's like, this is a
Broadcasting.
direct threat to our democracy or something like that. And there's like 40 stations saying the same exact thing.
But it makes so much sense. Wouldn't you do that if you had trillions of dollars or rubles, whatever it's called in Russia? In fact,
that's like $5,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like all those influencers got paid, and now they're like, no, this is gonna buy me like a roast ham at the supermarket, and that's it.
You can't even get a McDonald's burger.
Yeah. Well, no, they took over the McDonald's, and now it's like some other name, like McPutin's or something.
Yeah. Dude, what if McPutin's actually slaps hard? Like, it's way better.
Comes to the U.S.
Yeah.
It's like when they started opening In-N-Outs around here. Like block shut down.
Yeah. Dude, what if it's like the best, and like they're like, oh shit, when is McPutin gonna come to the United States? Like, we're getting our first McPutin. It's crazy. 13-hour lines.
Man, that'd be such a crazy shift if we started getting like Russian fast food restaurants.
Just got so good when greedy Americans took their hands out of it.
It's because they started putting steroids in the meat.
Yeah, exactly. Shit, that'd be so fucking funny. I'd love that. I'd be first.
You'd be first in line.
I'd be first in line
to support Putin. Is that what you said?
I'm not saying I'm supporting Putin. I'm
heard it
just
here
saying
first.
if he makes a good burger, I'm gonna try it. I gotta know.
This is the last podcast.
Oh, so this is what dictatorship tastes like.
Hey, he's not a dictator, okay?
All right. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Oh man.
Anyway,
I read a pretty cool book last year. I think it was last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Sometime during this whole fog that we've had since March of 2020.
Yeah.
But it was about the chefs of different dictators, and it was such a good read.
that's
It
so
was
rad.
How to Feed a Dictator, and it was such a good book.
How do you
Highly
feed a
recommended it.
dictator?
Yeah.
Give us some points.
Well, it was more kind of about the lives of the chefs, but they did talk about the meals and stuff. They talked about like Saddam Hussein's chef, and I think it was him, but there was a meal that was just like a full-on goat, like standing on a table that they would wheel out, like it was a cooked goat. That just sounds wild.
How did they get interviews with all these chefs?
I know.
Yeah, I have no
crazy.
idea, but it was like a Polish journalist wrote the book, and I have no idea how he got access to these guys. The
How many-
craziest was Paul Potts' cook. She was like still so like enamored by him, and like full Kool-Aid has been taken there.
Wait. Who is this dictator?
Pol Pot, Cambodia.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, you got it. It's kind of interesting to think about how much you have to trust your chef, because a lot of those people, including like we're seeing in Russia now, like I think Putin, it was reported that he like changed out all of the staff because he was worried about getting poisoned or something like
Yeah.
that. And I gotta imagine a lot of these dictators were very, very particular about who was serving.
Yeah,
the
their
food.
chefs had such high places in power. Like they were, because they had to be trusted. Like you said, I mean,
Right.
when he fired, I read that he fired them as well, and I thought immediately of that book, because there were some dictators seemed pretty chill. I mean, to their staff, but some like those staff are like, I could get murdered like today,
Yeah.
like every single day.
It's not. I can't say it would be a position I would want to hold, because you are constantly having to look over your shoulder, or you're just like, maybe that thought, that anxiety, or that nervousness that comes along with that job of like, oh shit, like if I pull something off that may not be satisfactory or suspicious in any kind of manner, if I even give them a slight of doubt that I'm not performing in the way I should be, or I'm trying to pull a fast one, that like, you know, like I'm done.
Like you left the chicken out a little bit too long, and he gets sick from it, and then the chef's gone.
True.
Or he just
Food
gets
poisoning?
sick like for no reason of like of your fault. But
I wouldn't be
It's
the
like,
chef.
must be the chef.
Yeah.
Off to the guillotine for him.
That's crazy. I remember reading, speaking to Saddam Hussein, I remember reading that he would separate, one of the downfalls of his army was that he would not let any of the generals talk to each other. So it's kind of similar, like being that paranoid
Yeah,
state.
he didn't want a coup to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's always like, you come to me only. It's, I would imagine Putin's got like something similar going on right now, right?
Oh, for sure. Is he even like holding like in-person meetings?
I think he's been in his bunker in like in the mountains in the Urals for
I mean, I would
months.
be. You have like everybody in the world looking for this guy. Like, where is he?
And he's
Maybe
apparently
we drop a
super
bomb,
paranoid
maybe
about
we
COVID.
don't.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. like you see pictures
Yeah.
of him with like people in the same room. They're like 30 feet away from him.
Oh shit. He's got that N95 mask on. He's like, I have the Pfizer. Okay.
I don't think he had the mask. I think he still needs to look powerful, which means that
He has to show
Y-
face.
yeah, yeah, you can
there's
see his mouth.
There's a photo of him literally sitting across the table. He's like, this is more than 6 feet. We should be good. He's like, plus we have shots of vodka to kill all the bacteria.
Yeah, it's weird.
Wow. This is some dank ass drapes though. I will give him that. He's got style.
It's such a weird, I don't know what to call it, palace.
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
He's like, we have White
would-
House too, but it's slightly off white.
Personally, I would
Ivory.
hate to live in a building like that.
Yeah.
Like just kind of gaudy stuff and white marble everywhere.
It's like somebody on TikTok was like, it was like the worst curse is having to live in a Tuscan style home for the rest of your life. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, like
this-
the
yeah.
like the granite countertops and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Everything's
like the same exact
warm
interior
colors.
for every
Yeah.
like the warm wood and
So Saddam Chef brought a goat. How do you top that though? Like when you're Saddam's chef and you bring out a goat and you're like, and it's standing up and it's this extravagant thing. You're
Yeah.
like, this is as good as it's gonna get. Like,
well, I mean, he usually didn't go for the really extravagant stuff. I think that was
Yeah.
like a special occasion
It's his
goat
birthday.
meal.
yeah,
Yeah, something
it's
like
his
that.
birthday, Yeah.
I think generally he just cooked things that were like really kind of traditional Iraqi and
Okay.
Probably
just-
2 goats would top
Oh,
it.
true. One standing
Yeah.
on top of the other.
yeah, like 3 just
Pyramid
stacked.
of goats.
Yeah.
Today we
one
have
on a unicycle.
a la pyramid goats.
One of them's pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's a stuffed goat. Naturally stuffed. Interesting.
Yeah.
Chefs of dictators.
I actually made one of the meals from it.
Did
It
you?
was part of
Saddam's
I was-
goat
I'm in
meal?
this book club with some friends, and that's what we did it. And we all had like a potluck where we all brought like a
Oh my
dictator
God,
meal.
Nice.
Yeah, so I brought a the Cambodian papaya salad, which was actually pretty. It's
yeah.
weird. It was weird. It was good, but weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think I made it right. I felt like there was something missing.
You
Probably
stupid Americans.
Because you guys aren't dictators, so this.
Yeah, I didn't
that's
have
what
enough
was missing.
fear. Well, actually, she didn't have much fear. She was like super in love with this, like one of the worst dictators ever
so
in
weird.
history.
That's so
And she
crazy.
still is to this day. Like, she was just enamored by him, which is nuts.
That could be funny though. Is like the author of the book is like interviewing these people like, what is the key to success? What is like the secret ingredient to like all of your successful meals? And they're like, little bit of fear. Like a constant non-hammered fear.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if Putin's chef or his favorite meal is just like a hamburger, something generic.
Nick Putin.
Yeah.
It's a McPutin.
Well, like a stroganoff or something like that.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, maybe.
A
From
stroganoff.
I'll find
McPutin's.
It's only like Russian sounding. I don't even know if it's a Russian dish, but it sounds Russian.
It does sound nice.
So this
Yeah.
book,
Probably
they had like
Ukrainian.
recipes and everything in it that you could like make.
It has what? Rasputin?
Yeah, like no Rasputin. Yeah, did it include Rasputin?
Okay, recipes, I think.
Yeah,
okay,
recipes.
yeah, recipes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
cool.
not so much recipes, but it like talked about what went into things, and it said like the names of the things, and so this was called like baklahong, and I looked that one up.
Yeah.
Baklava, yeah, I like baklava.
Baklahong. It's like Lahong.
Yeah. Huh. It's eerily similar.
Did it contain like human remains?
Human? No, but it's been like over a year since I read it, but I think there was one Dictator where it was like rumored that there was human, and the chef was like, no, we never used human.
Wink, wink.
I want to say it was Uganda, but I'm not positive
Oh
on
my
that.
God.
I could be completely like just
Yeah, but it makes the
Mandela
story
effect
better.
on this
It's
book.
okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you were gonna tell us about how to get away with murder, right? So does this tie into it?
Yeah.
You'll get very intimately familiar with that.
You know, it was funny. We were talking about how to get away with murder with our friend Scott, who was also on the podcast. It was like actually during the podcast, and he was like, "Feed it." No hesitation. Was like, "Feed it to pigs. Pigs will eat anything."
Yeah.
And I was like,
I think I've seen that in a
"That's
couple
little
movies.
Weird how you just off the bat, no hesitation. told
Or
me
the
that.
lions go down to Florida and
And it's also
feed them to the lions.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
There's lions in Florida. I guess there is lions in
And
Florida.
it was Goodfellas. They went to like the Tampa Zoo. Well,
Oh yeah.
it's not really a Tampa Zoo, but
Do they eat the bones though?
no. I don't think a lion
think
would. A
you could
pig
put it
maybe.
in a-
I
You
think
could-
pigs
Yes,
might.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could put it in a what's it called? Where they
the
burn
ninja
bodies?
blender that you have that you use for the watermelon.
I bet it could puree a nice arm, a human arm.
and then
yeah.
just put it down the toilet.
Yeah, that's not gonna clog it or anything.
You better have like
I mean, not from experience.
a
I'm just
plumber that
saying,
you trust
probably-
a
yeah.
lot.
Didn't they? And wasn't I think it was Breaking Bad where they?
Yeah.
Oh, the bathtub.
Yeah, the bathtub.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
they used acid, right?
Yeah, and it melted through it
Yeah.
and the floor.
Such a good show.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorites.
Do you watch Better Call Saul? then?
I've watched a couple seasons of it.
Yeah.
It's just I need to go back to that show.
Yeah, me
That was
too.
like my airplane show for a while. Like every plane trip, I'd watch it, and that was like the only time I'd watch it for
That's
some reason.
So funny because the fourth I think, just got put on Netflix.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I think it's
I
the-
downloaded it to watch it on my flight. I didn't end up watching it. It's so funny that you just said that.
Yeah. What did you watch?
I watched Succession.
Okay, that's
On
a good
HBO.
one.
Have
Wait,
you guys
you can
seen it?
watch?
No.
You can download HBO shows?
Yeah, HBO Max. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, I think everything.
Yeah.
I didn't run into anything that I couldn't, but yeah, you haven't seen it?
No.
It's a pretty good one. It's,
Yeah.
it's about a family that owns a big media company or companies, and
I think it's framed out after the guys that own Fox.
that's what the vibe I
Okay.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the news network is kind of like,
The Murdoch family, I think it's called.
more entertaining.
Yeah.
and people
like the
kind of
24-hour
down to
news
it.
kind of.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
It's like not journalism.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, but it's good. It's
Nice.
just entertaining.
to check it out. We just recently. I mean, I guess we're late to the party. But we recently watched The Newsroom on HBO. That's a good show.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
don't
show.
think I
Yeah.
watched that.
Yeah,
Is
there's
it?
like one viral clip that came out of it of the main character, I was gonna say Jeff Bridges, but that's wrong. I think it's
I do the same thing all the time. Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
The character he plays is on a stage in this like school academic setting, and he's giving this big speech about how America isn't the greatest country in the world anymore, and it went viral. Actually, in an interview with Jeff Daniels, he actually said that speech saved his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it went viral, and the show took off, and yeah, it's pretty good. I've seen I think it's like the first couple seasons I saw.
There's only a couple. They got
Yeah.
canceled, so
Yeah.
like I think
Oh.
the third season was pretty short.
Yeah.
But they tried to tie it up.
Yeah, some of those shows, like the political shows, they can only really go on
Mhm.
so long. I feel like
Yeah.
there's like a boiling point that
Yeah,
can
you have to
recover
keep
from.
adding to drama, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like, there's too much of like the suspension of disbelief that's required, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
they fizzle
that's
out.
what.
Or someone like gets caught
Mm.
from molesting
Oh,
children.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
or fellow actors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
That's what. Not touching actors, but getting out of boiling points or kind of that roller coaster was Breaking Bad did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
Where you were thinking the entire time, how are they going to get out of this one?
Mhm.
And then through some creative scheme of writing, they wrote in this nice exit plan into the next like phase of the show. And that I don't know, maybe it's The Sopranos also did it in a really unique way. But that is
And
one
The Wire.
show, and The Wire too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all. I'm surprised that Breaking Bad wasn't on HBO. Imagine if it was, like how much
Yeah.
more gritty they could have gotten with it.
Yeah.
Because that was on
It's already
cable.
pretty gritty.
It
but
is,
But
yeah.
yeah, like they didn't have
AMC was
There's
it
no
AMC?
penises in
Yeah,
it.
AMC had a lot of violence, but yeah, no
AMC
penises.
kind of gets away.
unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there
Yeah,
were
it's
butts
like they
though.
have the Walking. They have the Walking Dead on there, which is pretty
Yeah.
violent.
Yeah.
So AMC gets away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
Like you're
Me
on
either.
television. How are you getting away with all this murder?
Yeah.
Like just
How-
unapologetic violence.
I feel almost like it was like the whole violence thing. Like the cat was already out of the bag. Like
yeah.
it's tougher to put it back in than to like keep the bag closed and keep the other the sex and nudity cat in the bag.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of in the same way where South Park, they still like say fuck and curse on Comedy Central.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's Paramount Plus.
And they had, it was, I don't know, 5 years ago probably at this point.
Yeah.
There was an episode, I think it was with Sony. They were making fun of Sony. And it was, I think they're the president of Sony or something was
Yeah.
fucking a woman on a table.
Yeah.
And they basically just
Yeah.
showed the entire thing.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't think this could be on TV.
What about the iPad episode when the iPad was announced and it was the human Sentai pad?
yeah.
Oh,
where they're-
yeah.
Like, how did they get away with that?
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's because it's so like childlike,
Yeah.
cartoony
Yep.
that they can just do it. I mean, it's just, like these block people are doing it. It's not real people.
Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I guess if they do get sued, then they're just like, okay, well, we'll take the fine. It
Yeah.
happens every once in a while.
Yeah. Plus, it's not really the show. Like the South Park Studios doesn't get the fine. It's Comedy Central. So
Yeah.
South Park can go hard,
Yeah.
and then Comedy Central has to make the decision whether or not they want to air it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. They make enough. They make us enough money.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll probably make enough money to cover the fine
Yeah.
if they air it.
That is such a big money. It's like that's like the biggest show on Comedy
Yeah.
Central.
It's like that. I would assume that like back in the day, the Daily Show was like number 2 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then beyond that, I can't think of another show.
Tosh
Like
Point oh,
Reno
maybe.
911.
Was a big
If it
one.
was like longer
I
ago.
know Tosh
Yeah.
was big. Now
Yeah.
they're canceling that one.
Are they?
Yeah, I think Comedy Central is trying to move towards just mostly animation now. Although now Viacom has pushed the South Park onto Paramount Plus, which I like because then it doesn't have to follow the guidelines of cable television. So they're not censoring the curse words. They're not, adding blurs to anything, or they can go as hard as they want now. It's like
Yeah.
basically HBO, like,
Yeah.
in that kind of sense when HBO was, separate from cable.
Didn't they pay some crazy amount to renew?
$900 million.
For how
What?
many
I
seasons?
think it's like 6 seasons. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it's just short of $1 billion the two creators of South Park got for doing 6 more seasons.
Nuts. No wonder they
Yeah.
bought Casa
Casa
Bonita.
Bonita, yeah. I'm so excited about that. I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
I never went to it before they closed.
Oh man, you
Yeah.
missed out.
When does it
You
open?
missed out. It's probably a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say maybe next year. I don't know. There's a lot. I know there's a lot of work to do. They gutted like basically the entire thing, and then they took over the neighboring businesses on each side to expand. Which like, I know you've never been before. It was huge.
Well, no,
inside.
yeah. I know it's. I've seen
You
pictures
get
of
lost
it. Yeah,
in
yeah.
there. Yeah, there's like you walk in. It's kind of like you've ever been to Meow Wolf. Is like
Not yet. No.
you should go.
Yeah.
I think you'd really find it cool.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those
You
things
get
we keep saying
lost.
like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go this weekend, and then we
Yeah.
forget, and then
It's kind of crowded. I would suggest going like during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you go into one dining room and then all of a sudden it led to another dining room. Like these big dining rooms, like stages and shit. And I was just like, how deep does this place go?
And it's weird because when you went into it, there was like a really long line.
Yeah.
Just to like order food to go into the
Oh
actual
yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, because like a buffet or not buffet, but like cafeteria style.
Yeah,
right?
basically.
Yeah,
You know?
basically.
It was so bad.
I heard that the
Food.
sopapillas are pretty good. Everything else sucks.
Sopapillas slap hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so good.
It's hard to mess that. It's just fried dough.
Yeah.
How dare you? Don't belittle the excellence.
No,
that
I'm
went
not
behind the
belittling it. It's
sopapilla.
great, but it's just fried dough.
It's like making French fries.
There's certain things that I hope just stay the same. It's like, and the one thing, obviously the sopapillas have to stay, but is that the flag? They have this little red flag on their table, and you raise the flag when you need a server to
Oh,
come.
yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest thing ever, and I hope they keep that at the very least.
I hope
you
they
know.
keep the divers.
I mean, these are what we're talking about are like that's the part of the soul of the place is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the diving and the show they put on, and yeah, they have like an arcade and stuff.
So it'll just be bigger, better food, everything else the same.
I hope so. They got mariachi bands walking around. It was like a theme park. In fact, when the line that you described is basically like you're in line for like Pirates of the Caribbean. Basically,
Mhm.
it had that vibe.
Yeah, like medieval times. or
Yeah,
something
exactly.
Like that, yeah.
And then you make your way. Yeah, Miles is gonna pull up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just yeah, that's the inside.
Yeah.
So bad that it's good is how I could describe it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the building.
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
in
I
a
live
strip mall.
pretty close to it now. We
Yeah.
pass it every once in a while. I'm like, we
You're
never
like,
went.
oh, so close.
Yeah.
I was so close. Yeah, there's like a 99-cent store right next to it.
Yeah.
That was the curb appeal. So fun.
Hey, do you want to go?
I can't wait to go back when they reopen. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
like one of those things where it's gonna like be crazy lines to
Yeah.
get in for like and probably the next 3 years after it opens. It's gonna be like a tourist attraction.
Mhm.
I mean, it already kind of
Again, yeah.
was, but
Yeah.
it'll be like a million times busier. I think.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but
I wonder what it was like when it first opened originally.
in the 70s, I believe.
70s?
Yeah, yeah. It's a historic monument or landmark monument.
It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it like saved it from bankruptcy a couple times.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
Here it comes again.
Back in action. Twice as badass.
Yeah. I hope they keep just one meal that's like just shitty.
The shitty
Like,
They call it the
some
shitty,
slop.
the shitty walk.
in the spirit of shittiness. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? So what other things are you up to these days?
What am I up to? So the weather's getting better.
Yeah.
Getting into, just started playing disc golf last like September.
Yeah.
So I'm getting back into that, and it's just
It's like
I
the
go through
whitest
these
sport
phases
ever.
where I'm like, yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, look at me. I was made for this sport.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's just I go through these like thing. Like I feel like there's some people that like they know what they like, they know like their thing, and they do that for their whole life. And I just like I'll get like obsessed with something for a little bit, and then like move on to something else that I get obsessed with. And right now it's disc golf for sure.
I'm the exact
Yeah.
same way with that. I hate it. People are like, what's your
Yeah.
hobby? I'm like, I don't have one.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a lot.
yeah. And they're different than the ones last year.
Yeah.
But no, this I mean, it's such a good time. Like getting out in
Yeah.
nature. The course is just free to play. Just go down the street, just start throwing plastic circles,
Yeah.
meet people. I've met some friends already. I actually got so I've gotten pretty into it, I guess. I saw some random Reddit posts, and it was this pro in the Denver area wanting to like start teaching, but he wanted to do some like freebie lessons to see if he actually liked it. And so I was his first lesson.
Oh shit.
So it was pretty cool.
Okay, you learn a few things.
Yeah, I learned a lot,
Yeah.
and saw him like just land a 400+ foot
Wow.
hole.
Really?
Yeah,
Dang.
Just aced it from
So
the
you're
pad.
pretty
just
good,
threw it.
huh?
No, I saw him do this. I am not very good at all.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I like to get better. It's fun.
yeah.
So is he gonna start teaching then?
I think he might. I told him let me know if he does. But I have no idea.
Was
We'll
it
see.
awkward at first?
No, it wasn't. He's
No?
a cool guy. So
Where do you go?
we were really just playing. So I go to a few parks. This one it was in like Highlands Ranch that we went to. Should have gone with one of your prior guests.
Oh,
before.
Joe?
It's gonna be a secret.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Haha.
So are the what do you call them? The goalposts? What are they?
Like holes or
baskets?
chain, like baskets. Yeah.
Are they already there, or do you set them up?
Yeah, they're there. They're there. So people maintain the parks. Just like a normal course, but
Yeah, there's one, excuse me, next to where I used to live, off of Hamden.
and they'll like some. I feel like some have better funding, or at least more attention than others, and they'll like move the posts sometimes, or move the holes sometimes, different settings, and then they like tell you like what the distance is on it and stuff like that. And
That's cool.
pretty
So
good.
if you get there and there's already a group of people playing,
Mhm.
what do you do?
you just wait until they're done. Like there's usually quite a few groups playing.
It's like golf.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you
Wait.
move on to the next.
Usually just wait for them to play. It usually doesn't take too long to get through a hole. So you just kind of hang out. Sometimes you'll chat with them even. Like I met some friends just like going. I just went by myself one day because I had the day off and I just wanted to get outside. And I ended up just tagging along with this group and we just played the whole 18 holes, which is fun.
So what's better, ball golf or disc golf?
I don't play ball golf. I personally think disc golf is it's
Please
more
don't
accessible.
refer to it as ball golf.
It's stick golf maybe.
What am I supposed to call it?
Golf.
Shaft golf.
Yeah. Golf.
Yeah, shaft and hole golf.
Big long stick golf.
Yeah. Shafts, balls, and hole
Yeah.
golf. I just think disc golf's more accessible, and that's why I like it more. Less of a learning curve. You can have fun.
Yeah,
right
and it's
away
free
playing
too,
it.
right?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's some courses like in the mountains that
Ooh.
it doesn't cost much. It's like
Have you
$5
done
to
it in the
$10
mountains?
bucks. No, but I want to.
That sounds
probably
like
very
it'd be
soon.
super cool.
Yeah.
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 So if you miss, then it doesn't just roll down the mountain. If you disc.
Oh, dude, that would suck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that happens. Sometimes you'll miss like an easy shot, and then it'll roll like 50 feet away, and then you have to make 2 more shots to get it in.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just part of the game.
Sounds like me playing golf, regular stick golf, ball golf.
Yeah, I've never played golf. I've gone to like some driving ranges and stuff,
Yeah.
but I've just never had all the equipment and like or the skills, and it's like kind of daunting to get into. I feel like you got to kind of be decent already to start playing, from what I understand.
Yeah, maybe. I would agree that disc golf is hands down way more accessible from a cost perspective to a skill level too.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a bit of technique involved, but I think it's fun even if you're bad. I've only honestly, in full transparency, I've only played one round of golf
Oh,
before
yeah.
in my life, but I've done Top Golf and ranges like
putt.
putt-putt.
Yeah,
putt-putt,
yeah.
putt-putt.
So that's like me too.
Yeah.
Is that minus the one
Yeah.
round of golf?
It's a lot of fun. Like, I went into it with an open mind and came out having just a really good. I mean, it's all about who you go with, in my opinion. Until you get obsessed with it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
like you were saying, going by yourself on your day off. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go out, you rent some golf carts, and they have club rentals too at most courses. My understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Drink
So you
some
don't really have to
claws.
own your own, yeah. And the best part is the sharing the showers at the end with
Oh,
your,
yeah.
your peers. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
slapping each other in the
Yeah,
ass.
dropping the soap.
Yeah.
It's like going to a Nordic spa.
Yeah.
Just get out of the pool, or before you get into the spring or whatever.
Oh, you have to do you
Just like
shower
a bunch of
before?
Yeah.
naked
Yeah.
dudes in a room. The showers.
It is a
So many
long
slips.
process, though, I will say. Like, how long is 18 baskets or 18 holes? of
Probably
disc
like.
golf?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes if you're like waiting behind people, it takes
Right.
longer. But I'd say probably like an hour hour and a half, maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe
Yeah.
a little less than that.
So 18 holes in golf is like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's a commitment. And so, and you get to a certain point and you're like, oh, you have to kind of follow through. And, there are courses where they're like 9 holes, so you do them like twice if you want to do a full 18.
Yeah, same with disc golf. There's 9-hole courses. There's
Yeah.
actually some that are even like 27 holes.
Oh, my God.
Nuts. Have you ever heard of like a 999? I think it's called like a 999 day or something around here.
No.
Where you play or you do 9 runs on the mountain, 9 holes of golf, and then watch 9 innings at like a Rockies game.
Oh, shit. So that's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Huh.
It's a thing that
know
I've
that.
heard of from one person at least.
Yeah. Sounds like a
Just
full
one
day.
person.
You
Yeah.
get to do it all in one day?
Yeah, it's like almost like a challenge, I guess. And it's
Yeah.
like you
Huh.
can only do it in like Colorado, obviously, and maybe a couple other states. But
I mean, I get that sounds doable.
So
Yeah.
it's
If you get
basically
up
a
early enough.
marathon, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like a
same
marathon.
thing.
Except the last one is like more of a.
You're just sitting and
lazy.
eating
Yeah.
a hot dog
You have to
eating
run
all
up
that.
and down.
Yeah.
nine stadium runs.
for 9 innings. You run up and down the bleachers.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean-
one of these days.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that like there's so many things that people just do to do and not because they're really that enjoyable. Like I'd have more fun just playing 18 holes or just going snowboarding and then chilling after.
Yeah.
But it's just one of
Yeah.
those things. Like, oh, I did this thing.
Yeah.
Then you
especially
announce
the
it.
snowboarding thing. Miles and I did 44 miles of snowboarding 2 weeks ago, and that kicked our ass. It was
My
like
feet
8,
hurt.
You know,
7
especially
or
the
8 straight
slushy.
hours. Yeah. Yeah, because you can't. The thing with the slush is you don't get a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more friction involved, and so there's a lot more energy, I guess, in like carving and
Which
things
was-
of that nature.
What was nice in the morning because it was really icy.
Yeah, so you flew
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, and there was nobody there. That was one of the reasons why we were able to get that much
Yes.
done.
Yeah.
Because there's no one to
Yeah, no lines.
No
dodge.
lines. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah. Just hop right on, go back up.
So we were just flying down,
Yeah.
like ice. You keep going, nothing slowing you down.
I think it was like close to 20,000 vertical feet that day.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
did some tree runs.
Did some tree runs. Yeah. I got Miles on the tree run bug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
all about it. Because before I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
the
that'd be a
first
good
one I
tree
wasn't
run.
so sure if you enjoyed it too much.
The problem is if you can't pivot easily,
Yeah.
then like you're just like, oh, I'll run into a tree
Yeah.
and I'll really hurt myself. So they're
Yeah.
not enjoyable.
Yeah.
But then once you get that a little more down, then you're like, okay, I can go more than 1 mile per hour
Yeah.
down this little bit to get through the trees.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only done a couple, but I've been enjoying them. We went down we took a wrong way and went down like crazy steep Black Diamond with my wife, and it was her first time going, and there's someone else with us too that like wasn't looking to go down a Black Diamond, so that was fun. We very slowly made our way down there, but
Yeah.
then it was fun like hitting the little jumps and stuff after. But yeah, I'd like to do more, but I feel like the time is over. Unless a
Yeah.
big storm comes through.
I know. A lot of the resorts have extended their closing date by a couple weeks, which is kind of
Yeah.
exciting, because it gives you hope that the snow's still sticking around and it's cold enough, or they're getting. I know,
Yeah.
last week
They got some snow. They got snow
Yeah,
yesterday or something
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
yeah. And in fact, I think when we went in the last 24 hours, they had like 3 inches of snow came down, which is better than nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you always have that like first week of May, day, and then it's basically. I mean, when we were out there was some puddles of like
Yeah.
water on the runs, and you're like, oh no.
You gotta take a drink.
Yeah. We accidentally passed one of the lifts, and it eventually turned into just a beginner area.
Oh yeah.
And we got to it, and it was slushy, and it was literally so bad that we just couldn't go. It didn't matter how fast you were
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
begin with, you just eventually stopped and had
It's
to
like
walk.
a sand pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even even going in the lines like at 3 or 4 o'clock, and you're like trying to get through the rope lines, and you're like digging through slush. It's one thing to like do the skateboarding on your snowboard to like move yourself along, but when your foot feels like it's moving into sand, and like you're having to almost basically walk through sand, like a beach sand.
Yeah.
The same kind of like feeling. You're so tired.
And then you get on the lift and like 10 pounds of slush just slides off of your snowboard.
Yeah, it's a good time though. I think it was a good way to end the season if we don't go again for the rest of the season, which I don't think is likely.
Yeah.
Echo Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they have great
Echo
conditions right
Mountain.
now.
We
Yeah,
saw
oh my
the other
God.
day, I saw an ad on Facebook for night skiing at Echo Mountain. Is it
my
Echo Mountain or
God.
Echo Park or whatever?
Echo Mountain. Yeah.
Echo Mountain.
I feel like
Yeah.
you could go hiking in that area right now and like not experience any ice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
too.
probably. Yeah. Yeah, we went last year, like at the very last basically weekend, and it was super icy. Not as slushy as Breck was. Breck was a lot more slushy.
Yeah.
In a good way. But I ended up just having ice burn all down my arm. 'Cause I hit a jump and I beefed it, and slid all the way down.
It was
on
so
ice.
hot you couldn't wear a jacket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I was uncovered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad move.
Hmm.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't be like me.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, probably not going again this season, but I mean, who knows? If there's a big storm and not doing anything that weekend, maybe I'll do it. But
Or we could all take off tomorrow and go to Aspen.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aspen?
Got some Aspen tickets.
Or Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
I think they've got snow recently.
Yeah. Didn't you say before that they get the most snow, like annually, like recorded?
Yeah,
Wolf
yeah, they
Creek.
got a ton this year. I think like Steamboat got a pretty good amount too.
Really? You
Yeah.
ever go to any of those?
No,
No. Yeah.
I've only been to like 3 places so
Yeah,
far.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I've only been to like 3 places too, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I just got the Epic passes today, so
nice. We got it last week. Yeah, because now I think it's like after a certain day you don't get the buddy passes and stuff
yeah,
like that.
it's in a couple days.
Yeah, it's good. Good move.
Did
Good
you
move.
get local, Keystone?
I got
full?
the local.
Yeah.
Because we've had Keystone Pass for the last couple of years,
Mhm.
and it's just, I mean,
Yeah,
we like to open it up. We like to go to Vail, Beaver Creek, stuff like that.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We're like one more season, and then we're at that point. I think
Yeah.
this is our first season doing the Keystone, and I really like Keystone.
Yeah, me too.
And more than just the mountain itself, like the village, I think is
Yeah.
like really cool. I mean, that's something that not a lot of other resorts have to offer. I think
Yeah.
like we went to Breckenridge this past week or 2 weeks ago, and they don't really have that.
Yeah, you
They
have to
have
go
like
to the town.
yeah, exactly. Like they have a really cool town, but it's not connected in the same way that Keystone is. When you get right off the lift, you're like, boom.
Yeah,
you're in
you
the
can't
village.
just like put your board up and like sit
Yeah.
down and have a beer.
go to
or
a
something.
brewery
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And like they have restaurants, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have that same charm.
Yeah.
It's-
And it's a lot of very new, fancy stuff there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So you kind of feel like you're at this really high-end
Yeah.
place, and you're like,
That's how Beaver Creek is too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
is
like
it?
a few like really fancy restaurants. It's like I'm just gonna go to Chiba Hut or something.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I love Aspen. It's one of my favorite places to go in Colorado. And also but I haven't been to like actually snowboard there. I've just
Mhm.
been there to like hang out in the
I've
town.
actually never been to Aspen.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Neither
haven't
is
been either.
Miles. Yeah. I highly
Have to go.
encourage. It's really, really cool.
Have a boys trip.
Yeah, I love that place. I think it's amazing. Telluride is kind of like in that same category for me, where it's like very quintessential Colorado mountain town.
Yeah.
If somebody was like, "Hey, I've got an unlimited budget and I want to like feel and do the Colorado mountain town," I would say go to Telluride. Like you won't be disappointed, or go to Aspen as a second choice. And I think both those will get you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, there's like Vail and
Crested
Winter
Butte's
Park.
pretty good.
Crested Butte, yeah.
You go to Uray as well, but I don't think they have a ski resort there.
Right,
You
they
have to
don't.
go over to Telluride.
They don't have some of that, like, all in the same town type of thing.
They do ice climbing there. I think that's the big
Yes.
thing in Uray. So
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
could
They have an ice climbing park.
Would you be into that, ice climbing?
Yeah, maybe. I think I'd try it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look too hard because you have a lot of
Looks
spikes.
pretty hard though. I watched the it was some sort of like national ice climbing championship or something that was outside of the Capitol one year. I think it was like 2018 or so. They just had like some ice walls outside the Capitol, so we went and watched it. And
Oh, wow.
those guys, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Especially the speed climbers. They have just like the picks and stuff. They're
Oh
getting
my
up there in
God.
like
That looks
18
hard.
seconds.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There was this rock climber, Andre something, I can't remember. He ended up dying from I think an avalanche or something, but he would do ice climbing and rock climbing in the same routes. So he would
Oh,
find
yeah?
routes
Oh.
where he'd have to rock climb,
Ugh.
free solo rock climb too, where no harnesses, anything, and then
Jesus.
he'd have like this huge chunk of ice where he'd have to get around.
So we just like put the equipment on to.
Yeah, so he would just
Yeah.
keep the spikes, the crampons, I guess. I don't know if they're called something different, but and then he would climb up the rocks. I think just with those on, or maybe he'd take them off, and then he'd pull out his picks and climb up them.
Crazy.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane, man.
I mean, he's
don't know.
dead. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
But he
that.
didn't die that
R.I.P.
way, which
he
is
didn't die
nuts.
that way. Yeah.
That's an
Wait,
accomplishment
how
in
did
itself.
he die?
He died on a trip, but I think I don't think it was
avalanche, you said
climbing.
that.
Yeah, I think he was probably coming back down. Maybe. I think that
Oh,
was.
okay.
Damn, what a way. Out of all the things that this guy's been through in terms of like challenging, death-threatening
Yeah.
adventures, it gets killed on the way down from an
Yeah.
avalanche.
Right.
Damn.
I feel
It's a
like
bummer.
Alex Honnold, the
Yeah.
free solo guy. He's gonna die. He's gonna like just have like a heart attack one day, or like when he's
Yeah.
like in his 70s.
Right.
So somehow he's just gonna completely evade death while doing that his whole life.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like I'll go to the climbing gym and go for like an hour or so, and by the end of the hour, I can't finish some of the routes because my arm strength just gives
Yeah.
out. And I'm like, I can't imagine just like your life depends on your arm strength not giving out.
Yeah, I'd be so dead. Be dead 30 feet up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that's like just the endurance you have to have. You climb
Yeah.
all the time. You get kind of getting used to it, and then
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of techniques you can use to rest.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
not go so hard for so long to where you expense all of your energy all in one sitting
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to like kind of like make it stretch.
Yeah, a lot of times if you find like a little crevice or something that you could like maybe fit your like feet like knees in or something like that to like
Mhm.
rest your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I would
climbing
ne-
is a
I'd never do that.
yeah.
I
No,
would.
me either.
I would outdoor rock climb. The highest I would probably go is maybe 50 feet, but
Yeah.
and with the
the
harness,
rope, of course, yeah.
everything,
and the top rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'll never do anything else.
Yeah.
other than that.
I'd do it. I'd probably do it once, but I want to do it where I have to like use the bathroom in the middle. Drink
Just
a bunch
like
of water
some
at the
sick
bottom.
fetish
to
of
make-
yours.
yeah, I want to
What a
look
peon.
out. Good luck, everybody below. Just like I don't know. It seems like that might be a fun experience.
I was at El Dorado Canyon, and you can just go there and climb. You don't need a permit or anything. You just they have all the things you need there. And we were leaving the area we were hiking at, and there was just this little girl on. She was hooked in, and she was just standing at the bottom of the rocks with the rope going up, and I couldn't see where the other person was. I'm like, what is this girl doing here?
Oh no.
Huh.
Huh, interesting. Like
She's belaying the person.
yeah. You're like,
Belaying her
huh.
dad or something. She's
Is
like
that-
6 years old.
That'd be funny if that's the reason why somebody has kids. Just like
Yeah.
I need somebody to belay
Yep.
me, and you start them real young.
Yeah,
Maybe
3
a little
years
too
old.
young.
You start like making them hit the weights.
Yeah. You're putting like sand in their pockets to
Yep.
keep the weight down.
Yep. Feeding them just like putting like a scoop of whey protein at every
Yeah.
meal.
Mom, I don't want to. You're gonna do it. We're hitting the gym on Sunday.
We're going crag climbing.
Yeah. Ah, shit. Well, I think we're hitting almost the 2-hour mark on this sucker, so I think we can wrap this up. But really appreciate you being on. And
Yeah,
this
it's been fun.
This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to. Well, I can't just invite myself back on,
No,
but anytime
we'll
you
have
want to
you
have
back.
me back on,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe,
be on.
maybe season 4 or 5. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe
that-
during like a best of segment. If you need me to come on, I'll
Greatest
come
hits,
on.
Yeah.
It would be awesome.
Yeah,
definitely.
we'll have to have you back on soon because, like I said in the very beginning, we always have really good conversations offline.
Yeah, not enough though.
Yeah,
like
not
I feel
enough.
like lately it's been every 5 months that
I
we see each
know.
other. Well, no, we saw each other like a couple months ago, but
It's not enough, my
Yeah.
friend. It's not enough. Life is well, Miles is even busier than I am. It seems like, but yeah, it's just been super busy these
Yeah.
days. Yeah, and I know you just started a job. Congrats on that
Yeah.
and stuff. And
yeah, I can't say I'm super busy lately.
you've been playing disc golf,
chilling.
so
Yeah,
you're good.
exactly.
You're good. Like,
Yeah.
Your schedule's clear.
Yep,
No, I'm
yep.
kidding.
For the most part, it's true.
Awesome.
It's good to have those periods.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to hang out soon. But thanks for everybody for listening. If you're still with us, check us out on YouTube if you're listening. Got a killer setup for our video. Miles, where are we on the social medias?
We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, probably Snapchat, OnlyFans, probably Patreon.
All those good stuff. Hit us up. But until next time, folks, adios. See ya.
See ya.